I'm live. You know what? I'm not even gonna pause and check. I'm just gonna assume I'm live, and if I'm not, just go rope shopping, I guess. I don't know. I need to stop saying that. I thought of it one day randomly, and now that's just my go-to joke. Anyway, we'll stop that. Hello, everybody. What's up? I'm here for the old hobby hangout. Thank you very much, Johnny, for saying that I am live, because I wouldn't know. I have no additional technology. Until 8, outrageous. Well, that's fine. I have no idea what I'm doing here tonight. In 2 weeks ago, when I did my first, in theory, kind of start of regular streaming, I wanted to be like really focused on this is the topic. This time, no, that ain't what's happening. In theory, I'm just here to do hobby. The only problem there is hobby is really, really difficult to do whilst like actually being engaging. So we will see how that goes. But I've got it set up in case we need to hobby, so we're good. We're good. I've got these, my Adeptus Astartes. That's not what they're called. Adeptus Arbites. I've got my drip guard over here in the corner, if I want to just quickly get a wash on them, or, as you might possibly have guessed from the thumbnail, wait for it, I've got a box of Van Sar going, because I don't know. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you how impulsive I am. I had an idea, and I was like, oh, I should make a video that is Combat Patrol versus Kill Team versus Necromunda, right? Like, which one's the game for you? But I don't have, okay, hold on. I'm about to say, I don't have a Necromunda gang. That's not true, I have two. I have the Enforcers, and I have a Corpse Cult. Oh, and I have a full, like, very well kitted out squat prospector gang. But that wasn't enough, because I wasn't into those. But I was, at the time of thinking I'll do this video, into Van Sar. Because, you know, they're actually, like, futuristic. And you could do them as, like, generic futuristic guys, which I was vaguely into. There you go. 4 cams, I am a wizard, yes. Yes. We can even go through them individually. So this is the cinematic. I don't know why I've titled it cinema. I've titled it cinematic because, yes, it's on my face, but if I want to like readjust it, it can very nicely be a really good close-up cam, you see, with a nice shallow depth of field, so you get a really good kind of well, cinematic stuff, right? So that's that. We've got the overhead, obviously this. We've got the double player, called double player, because when I actually have somebody here, you can see the other person. And then I have to, now this is the dice cam. Obviously this is all set up with names as if I'm doing a battle report, but that went downhill. Which is just another angle. Double hello player, ooh yeah, it should have, shouldn't it? Good point. But this one's just easy. So you might recall a couple of months ago I did the Blitz bat rep. No, I'm gonna... Oh, the dice cam, yes it will, because it's attached to the desk, so it will wobble, yeah. So, a couple of months ago, I did the Blitz bat rep. I love the concept of it. I think it's genius. I think it's great. Unfortunately, I haven't done another one because I'm lazy. However, at the time, I had done, the concept was that I kept jumping back and forth between the cinematic and the two of us and the overhead so you could see the action. I should have just done this. There you go. No need to swap at all, ever. Right, I've waffled for a bit. Hello, everybody. Hi, how's it going? Yes. So, Jonas, I don't know how to pronounce that accent on the A there, but let's just go Barker. Easy line of sight cover rules. Yeah, so if things go slow, I'm going to start talking about that main topic there of just because, I don't know, I just had an idea of, didn't know what to talk about. I thought, we probably have a year left, you know, that's GW's thing. So let's have a chat. Let's think about what changes we would like to see, because that's always interesting. Real 3D maps, yeah. So that's oh, you can't really see it very well on any of the things. But if I go to double player cap, yeah, you can't see it because there's a camera in the way. But this terrain here is my Dead Zone terrain, which I finally built, which I'm actually very happy with, to be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, I've just done super quick paint job, keeping it primarily white. But yeah, I'm actually really excited to kinetic cam. Yeah. I'm actually really excited to play some Dead Zone. But like step one was build the terrain, because I intend to just proxy the models for 40k models. But the terrain I think is relatively important. Right. I find that battle map kind of weird because of all 3D stuff printed on it, like the tank traps. Yeah, it's weird. I agree. So obviously my patrons know because I talked about it, but this battle map, right as I needed a battle mat to get into 40k. This was like the only one. This and the snow one, the only ones I could find. There you go. So it was that or play on a black surface with grids on, and that wasn't great, obviously. Yes, so I very deliberately went white for the high sci-fi, you know, like the cyberpunk. Whenever I think of Mass Effect. That's kind of my go-to, this is what I want my high sci-fi, my space opera to look like. I really like that sort of world. So, white works. I want it to be a hell of a lot less competitive. Ooh, interesting take. It's the explanation heuristic that needs to be more straightforward, not the actual unsigned rules. Okay. Well, you know what we have to do before we crack on with either hobby or chatting about it. We're going to have to do, if you're a subscriber to my channel and if you've liked this video and commented in this live chat, I'd like to give you a big double hello. Oh wait, hold on. Thank you so much, very genuinely, you know, just watching the videos, being part of the community. For Killteam, I suppose you could argue for me because it's my channel, but for Killteam means a lot. It's my main game, I'm a huge fan of it, and it's great to have all of you along for the journey. Right. This is my favourite channel on the Citadel. Oh yeah. Oh man, I should have that on my soundboard actually. That's a good one. Yeah. We just get here in time for the double hello. You see, you can't do these things too early. I explained it in the last video. If you have like a topic or a subject, you have to waffle for 10 or 15 minutes because people, even that want to be here, just things don't happen immediately, you know. So yeah, needed to like the double hello. You do. Sock collection. Love the name, by the way. Sock collection. Yeah. Would it really hurt the game if Blind Sight was a bit less gotcha and you couldn't have unreciprocated shots? Honestly, that is a discussion all on its own. Competitive organised play is the current zeitgeist, and I can't see that changing. It's all about the free advertising. Oh gosh, yeah. I suppose I haven't even really considered the meta of competitive versus casual games, which I imagine probably does play into, you know, what they want to do with their rule set. Of course, Necromunda just said, nah, fuck that. So there you go. You should write it all down. Yes. Yeah, indeed. You're right though. You should hide your streams in general, unless you are exclusively a streaming channel, in which case don't hide them. But yeah. Also, turns out, podcast playlist just publishes it to your channel like a normal thing and does hurt your analytics, so don't do that. Whoops. Right. While we're here, while I've got you here, whilst people are still filtering in, does the competitive side really hurt casual? Oof. Jesus. You're asking some big questions is all I'm saying, okay? Right. So, what am I trying to do here? Where can I give you the best view? I'll do it all up here. Right. So, I'm going to quickly show you my drip guard. So 2 weeks ago, I did the stream where I put together this guy, who is what is he? He's my drip guard. Oh, there you go. No, come on, give me the. There you go. Nice. Where I put together. I can't remember what he is, but basically he's a bit of a plague marine with a death shroud head. This little fume thing, which will make more sense once it's coloured in, obviously, was off of one of the fetid bloat drone. But otherwise, it is just a custom model of 40mm base, really. So yeah, and I managed to get some bells on his back because he's a bell end. I will make that joke every time after somebody pointed it out to me. Yes, correct. But you saw me make him, and then afterwards I went and had to think about everything. But it turns out then you've got all the other models. So this guy, Whopper. Yeah. You know, I do so much hobby. Hold on, you've got to look at my face. I do so much hobby. It's actually insane. I just don't like painting. I really don't. And so every time in the past I've said, I don't like hobby, I've lied. I love hobby. It's amazing. I really do. It's very calming. But I mean, building and kit bashing, I do genuinely dislike painting. But thanks so much for the $5, man. Right, this guy here, he's on a 32mm base, but he's, I mean, that's clearly a heavy bolter, isn't it? And you might be thinking, oh, how are you going to fix him to a 40mm base? You know, I'm going to blue tack him. That's it. Why would I do anything else? And then everybody else, these three here, am I going to be able to show you these three? Let's have a look. So these guys, these are just all straight from the Death Guard Heroes thing. So what are these? So this guy here, regular intercessor, cool. Oops, I dropped him. This guy here, assault intercessor, obviously. He's the flail dude. And this guy here, grenade. So he's the smoke grenade guy. Literally no need for any conversions. Just, these are my Death Guard Justicar team. Or Justian team. I did one conversion. I treated myself to spending an insane amount on eBay to buy an Eliminator's rifle. Right, yeah. So there you go. Once it focuses, it's not going to focus. Sorry. Classic. Come on, bro. There you go. So there you go. That's just an Eliminator rifle on a Death Guard dude, which I think looks pretty gangster, if I'm honest. I forgot I'm so hot. Jesus Christ. This room was cold when I got in here. Oh man, we're just going to have a big debate about line of sight and how to improve it. And then competitive versus casual. I like it. Yeah, sure. What's the difference between a casual and a competitive game? Sorry. In a casual game, just everything's on a 4-up. 50-50 everything. Just, can I do the thing? I don't know, 50-50. Right. Painting is the worst building of it. Yes, 100%. 100%. I genuinely enjoy building. Don't know why, just do. Yeah. I am quickly going to scroll up because I got on a rant before and then Whopper hit me with that 5. Yeah, only real change you want to go back to having the actual model like killteam made rather than if you see a barrel or comms antenna you can be shot. Right, so yeah, okay. We're just gonna be talking line of sight the whole day, aren't we? Okay, that's fine. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the debate. Okay. You hate building, especially when it forces me to make decisions I don't have the information. So that's actually a very fair point. So, for example, I've only got the Dead Zone rulebook, but I'm currently building up my starter sets for Dead Zone, and I know really I know nothing about Dead Zone, right? So like in Kill Team, and in, I would argue, in many Games Workshop games, because Games Workshop uses the Games Workshop convention of rules writing. It's not always the same. They do have modifications depending on, you know, the rule set, but there is a shared language among all of their games, the convention, and so you can kind of figure things out, right? Like, you might not be 100%, but you'll be close about what's good, what's bad. This is completely different. I was reading through this and I was so lost about how does any of this work. And like, I was, actually I don't have the force list, it's in the other room. And I was so confused, and I was looking at the force lists, and the thing is, a tiny thing. So like in 40k games, it will give you the number of attacks right there in the weapon profile. It will say, you know, 1 attack, or rapid fire, 2 attacks in half range, or you're a flamer, you get 6 attacks, whatever, right? Dead Zone doesn't do that. Everything is 3 dice. And until I figured that out, I was so lost. So I've been furiously reading through the rulebook and then the force list before I can even build my regular crappy little vermin models. And I don't know if I'm doing the right thing at all. So it's a very good point. You kind of have to research before you can build, which is a very odd way of doing it. And normally I would say, oh, okay, so sorry, Sock Collector said just build what looks coolest. Wrong. Factually incorrect. And I'm going to push back on that, because that's... Look, at Kill Team doesn't really matter that much, right? Worst case scenario, buy a new box. You've lost 40 quid, whatever. I've been doing that for 40k. I'm not losing 40 quid, I'm losing 500 quid. And I'm not finding out it's the wrong thing until I've hobbied it all up, built it. I'm not painting, let's be honest. I spray. I'm happy to aerosol can things, but I don't paint. And then I play a 5-hour game and I lose, and I realise, oh, that was a bad decision. So don't necessarily just build what's coolest. That's a whole argument right now. You build all the specialists you can for the kill. Yanari Trash, nice name. But yes, that is actually probably just the way to do it. Oh, I don't like looking at my face all the time. Sorry, we can look at other stuff. There we go. Major Tom, you have no real hopes that they will actually change the main focus of the game. Oh, okay, right. That's talking about the competitive narrative. Or competitive casual. Yeah, let's call it that. What teams would like to see the next season? Rooms of Scouts. I'm just assuming Valrak's correct and it's going to be Scouts and Scorpions. I've heard a lot of people saying it might be Catachan. I don't know why they're saying it. I haven't heard any rumours that it's going to be Catachan. I've just heard wish listing that it's going to be Catachan. So, don't know. Do you think they should go back to points-based roster building or stick with the fire team? Ooh, that's a good question. Come back to that. Remind me later. I'm going to read through the chat and then I'm going to answer that. I want to buff Compendium in the next edition. I love my greenskins. There are so many valid things to talk about here. Jeez, okay. They have some example teams on the website. They do, but I don't know if they're good. Games Workshop would love it if everyone built what they think is cool. They'd be coining it even more. Well, GW needs to learn how to make cool armies good. Yeah, I agree. Who will be in a fight between a giant ant and a giant but modest bee in an all-wool jumpsuit? The bee, obviously. Not even a question, really. 2K point games can go forever. They do. Feels like forever, at least. Evening Squire, did I miss? You did, Modelling for Advantage, miss the double hello, I'm afraid. There will be a triple hello at the end, though, if you hang around for that long, of course. Catachan and Tyranids. Again, I think this is just coming from wish listing. I don't think there's... I haven't heard any rumours that these are coming. I'd love it if they did. You can drive your play environment. I know I do. As an aside, has the Mechanicus OSC been made royalty-free? I'm surprised that it... well, allow me to explain the ins and outs of what music I'm allowed to use. I want a new compendium with all the current bespoke teams retired. Yeah. Compendium. So I did actually write like bullet points for things that I can discuss if I run out of things, and like points to make, and that is exactly one of them. But I kind of answered this or questioned this in the Patreon Q&A. Just what do how are they doing the next teams? Are they scrapping every single specialist, or are they scrapping all of the generic 40k teams? I don't know. Think of it this way. GW ultimately wants to make as much money as possible, and in general, they make the most money from beginner players. Beginner players, aka 40k players. Why 40k players? Because you get the combat patrols, and it's the biggest game, so you draw the most number of people before they find out they don't like it and so start to look at other things, right? If you go kill team specialist teams only as the only way to get into kill team, you are cutting out a bunch of 40k players. Is that really what Games Workshop wants to do? I don't know. I don't know. Really what they should do is look at the combat patrols, because that is clearly Games Workshop's entry point to 40k, and make what's in the combat patrols what you can take for the compendium teams in the next edition. GW, write me that check. I just solved that for you. I know you were thinking about what to do. I've solved it. What's your opinion about the worst thing about... Oh man, the worst thing? If there had to be a number one worst thing, it's line of sight. Worst rule, track target. There you go, easy. Easy. Although I would get real specific about line of sight and the issue there. Add new teams that fills the missing teams. No, don't know what that was about, sorry. True to the extent, but it's difficult when the game's so skewed the other way, the game draws competitive players to it. Yes, it does, I believe. Kill Team is very competitive. Yeah. Just the other day, somebody likened it to, it's like you're playing chess. When you go to a tournament, it's like, it's very hard to relax, you know? Even at bottom tables, don't get me wrong, people might be having fun, but it's not like, yeah, it's really difficult. And that is based heavily on the rule set that they have been given. Because you can find other games where on the bottom tables, people are just kind of messing around, having a laugh. And that's not so much Kill Team. Need more kits with bold leader head options? 100%. I've always said it. The real issue, obviously, with the Warhammer scenario, the narrative, is that all bald guys are evil. Now, that is factually correct, but you know, I want my representation of bald good guys. Otherwise, you know, how are we ever going to break that cycle? Am I right? I guess it's not the patriarchy, it's like the hairyarchy. I feel myself getting cancelled already. We need the White Dwarf teams back. Gaunt's Ghosts. No, we don't. So so yes, we do. I want all of those teams. However, I don't want more teams. There's too many. There's a lot of teams. That's a whole discussion for another stream. I don't want to blow my whole load in one stream, you know? As a distinctly casual player, I would say that this edition of Kill Team is a bit off. I agree. I agree, it's not a casual game. I agree completely. Would you want Kill Team to lean towards the direction Kill Team 2018 took with the inclusion of elites and later on commanders? Games Workshop won't ever do that because Kill Team 2018 was good in the sense that everybody got their updates at the same time. I can't imagine GW going back to that. However, if you just mean, will they do one-off releases where you can go and buy a new HQ model and it goes into your team? No, I don't know. So, yes, they should. There you go. And they should do it because if you're an Orcs player, you have had nothing for the whole edition. You got Commandos and Greenskins, and you have nothing else. And you're not going to get anything else, are you? Let's be honest. If you're generic Imperium human, you've had stuff. If you're Marines, you've had stuff. But the Xenos guys don't get anything, and that's heresy. Kill Team needs more Halfkin. I love Halfkin purely because I think dwarfs are cool, and I love the idea of having a book of grudges. Just the pettiest little bitches ever. Just like, oh, you called me a mean name, I'm going to write it in my book. They're basically a 12-year-old girl, right? Like that's what dwarves are. They have the same attitude as a 12-year-old girl who wants to go and put like, oh, I'm going to write in my diary that you called me a mean name. That's hilarious to me. KT will plateau. There are only going to be so many plastic models. Games Workshop, some form of rules need to shake up. Well, yeah, I mean, we assume it's a new edition in a year, so change. I always get muddled up in the dice pairings and during melee. Can you explain it? Dice pairings during melee? Yeah, sure. So you just, you both roll your attack dice, and then whoever made the fight action gets to choose first if they're striking or parrying. And then that happens whether they're striking or parrying. And then the next person chooses whether they're strikes or parries. And then you go back and forth until somebody dies or there are no dice left. Complete rewrite, what would you choose? Oh my god, Jesus, I don't know. One team to completely rewrite. Which would it be? Hand of the Archon. There you go. I really wanted Eldar's thing to be 2.5 APL. I wanted them all to get the free dash. I don't really connect with the Power for Pain thing. Give them the 2.5 APL, the free dash, and make Power from Pain something else. Freebooters, I'd love a freebooter bespoke team. They're not going to give us it because those models are amazing. They're not going to redo them. Hard. If you could choose, yeah. Dozen of us. Should they have included a grudge diary? Oh, I'd love that. Yeah. Somebody must have made a grudge book, right, that we could just buy off Etsy or something, right? That has to exist. Now you were getting cancelled. Am I getting cancelled for calling dwarves 12-year-old girls? Well, they shouldn't act like it. How different do you think a new edition will be? Would it be like Warcry or mostly same teams but slightly adjusted mechanics? Yeah, I imagine it's going to be very similar to the Warcry reboot that just occurred. So, Warcry was a solid game with good mechanics. It was their only game ever that has won them a game design award, right? So then when they redid it, the smallest tweaks ever. And I imagine that's all we're going to be looking at for the Kill Team reboot. It's going to be the same core game. I can't see them changing that. Maybe if GW wants to make more money, they are actually discussing up there. Maybe they will change it from kind of like distinct fire teams to list building, because then you have to buy more models to have all the options. Like that just seems like an easy win for them, you know? But in general, it's going to be the same game. What is your coldest and hottest take on current Kill Team? Hottest take, shapes are great. Coldest take, game's too competitive. Ooh, there you go. I don't know. No time to think, rapid fire. I got the starter box, still new in box, lovely. Love the idea of Kill Team, but nobody to play with. Oh no. Cheese Man, what a name, love it. Matty Cheese, get on the old Kill Team player locator, jump into the Discord and put your, like, say where you are, and hopefully somebody can find where you are. But in general, I mean, you know, that's the way everything is, you know. If you can't find someone to play with, and like the only game that is consistently the most played is 40k, if you're not playing 40k, even though Kill Team's in the same world with the same models, yeah. Trust me, as someone that's currently doing Dead Zone, I am fully aware. I'm going to force my friends to play one game and then they're going to stop. I'm doing it for that. Have a little book I play Hearthkin to write stuff down in. Okay, you have created yourself a grudge book. Beast Snagger team, yeah, Beast Snagger would be sweet. They need more models too, so that would make sense. Do you think Kill Team 2 has been maxed out on a team's perspective? Has been maxed out on a team's perspective, in that we are not likely to see anything new, but more of what we already have. For example, more 4-man teams, or would... You've lost me, if I'm honest. On a team's perspective. Do you mean, are we ever going to go down to a 3-man team, or up to a 16-man team? No, I think we're good. I think anytime you are using a D6 system, there are limits to things. Things get incredibly swingy. Obviously, Kill Team has the advantage of using dice pools instead of individual dice, so it's like, it could, in theory, get around that. But we have a very I think 2 years in, we know what we're doing, and we know the system pretty well, the engine. I can't see them making a genuinely well-balanced 3-man team, or higher end, a 20-man team. Just don't think it really works. To make it, 50% win rate, all-rounder sort of stuff. Although, with that said, I've said it in the last few videos, Kill Team does seem like it's getting more and more rock, paper, scissors. We are seeing more and more teams that can't really handle other teams. So. Oh my gosh, my throat's dead. Chris Rays, pure speculation. We don't know anything, and that's just a fact. I should stop the sentence there. I don't know anything. However, the way GW is currently cycling their games every 3 years is when they reboot. They followed that for a very long time now. So I would be very surprised if they didn't reboot Kill Team, but it's entirely possible. I don't know. 3rd edition, that would be a few years away, right? Jimmy, it's probably next year. I think, what would that be, next September? September or November, I think. So assuming it follows the last cycle, we will have Age of Sigmar 4th edition in like June, and then we will have Kill Team 3rd edition in September, November. What's the worst faction ability? I wanted to say Hierotech Circle Reanimation before they buffed it to not cost CP. So they buffed it though, so they're not that. Elite points are amazing. Faith points are great because faith, what you can do. Oh, you know what was the worst one? It got buffed, but I'm going to say it was the Hunter Clade, where you had to take a negative to get the positive. So inevitably, everybody just didn't take anything. They just did the no. I would think this is the last season of... Yeah, agreed. I'm so glad to hear there are more shape lovers than me. Rise up, my shape gang. It's on my shirt. It's on the front and back of my shirt. I love shapes. I'm all about them. When I was over at Play on Tabletop, I was talking to Nick, Town Nick. That Manta battle report's coming out soon, by the way. Don't know when, like a couple of weeks. That's on the way, they said. When I was over there, if you recall, at the time they had kind of just-ish finished their Tale of 4 gamers playing Kill Team. And 3 of them were experienced wargamers. One of them, the woman, was not an experienced wargamer. So, when they... So I asked him, how did all of you find the shapes? Because everybody comments on the shapes when they start Kill Team, right? If they come over for 40k. And Nick said the 3 of them really struggled to learn the shapes. The person that was not aware of like the normal wargaming conventions took to shapes, no issues at all. Throat half dead. My throat game strong. Awesome, thanks, no problem. Lol, you dude. Yep. Do you think, given Ashes of Faith narrative direction, they might focus on more flavorful narrative elements and thus focus less on... No. Hard pass. Don't think it's going to happen. Double hello, double hello. Hashtag shape lover, that's me. Grudge token. I'm actually mildly excited when they eventually buff Hearthkin, because if they buff them enough, but not too much, then I'll go out and buy the, the Age of Sigmar guy that's like a rules lawyer and make him my leader or something. That'd be funny. Because I do genuinely love the idea of a grudge book. Would like them to go pure digital rules, no books. No, I love books. Don't take them away from me, please. However, right now we still have to use Wikipedia or KT Dash. If you don't like supporting the war on Russia, consider using KT Dash instead of Wikipedia. And that's where I have to go to get my rules. I have all the books, I don't take them with me. I have to go digital. I would love an app. It just needs to be the data sheets. I'm not asking for anything else. So they need to get on that. Pure just gives the books to include a digital code. Yeah, for sure. We could do both. Will 3rd edition keep the shapes? Well, that's the question, isn't it? No clue. That's like a big part of the talk. Maybe you've talked about this, but I really hope they scrap the order system. Oh, what? I have not heard this one. Okay. Slow the game down so much. Me and my friend have been playing Warcry. Scrap the orders. It's not kill team if you scrap the orders. That's... What don't you like about the orders? Is it just legitimately it takes you a long time to decide what, like when you want to go loud, or what? Interesting hot take, if I'm honest. Hope they go back to inches. Goblin Twink, you're banned. How dare you? My playgroup learned shapes by associating them with how many sides they have. Well, that's, yeah, okay. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. You know, if you're challenged, if you are countingly challenged, then the shapes are correct. The shapes are great for skimming the books. Yes, so I agree. I think that anything that allows you to pick out important information when you read it out of the book is very useful, and so shapes are that, because they are so different from text. Needs to be, you know, I don't think it's perfect, to be clear, but I'm on the shape train, shape gang. I hate going to Russia for rules of the optimal. I know, it's horrible, it's terrible, it's terrible. The only thing I can do is tell people to not, you know, if you have to use Warhammer, you kind of do, understood, I get it, but do not support it. You know, once the war ends, by all means, but until then, don't, because you're literally paying for the war. Anyway, right, I've caught up with chat, amazing. Okay, sorry, there was a question back there asking about how to do, am I allowed to play music from the Mechanicus OST? Allow me to explain that to you. I've just restarted it. Nice. So, good question. No, the Mechanicus OST, as almost all computer game music, is owned and is copywritten, but it is on a free use thing. So anyone can use it on YouTube, it won't trigger the flags. The reason for this is because obviously game developers want you to be able to use and play their games and do streams of it. So if they were to copyright their soundtrack in games, people would not be able to play them, stream them, review them using the original music. And so therefore, almost, not every, but almost all games that have an original soundtrack you'll be able to use the stuff, the music from them. That's why I can play the Mechanicus OST in its full entirety as my background music. Yeah, there you go. What did you miss in the last 20? Nothing. I haven't said a word, actually. I've sat here in silence. Guess I use, yes, you should, Goblin Twink. 100%. Mechanicus OST, but also anything. So, for example, I could be playing the Halo OST now, and I considered doing that because I think it's a banger. A Stone Cold Steve banger, if you will, but I didn't, because it's too recognisable. Everybody knows the Halo OST. If I just have this in the background, not everybody knows what this is. It just sounds like, oh, generic 40k stuff, right? Why did I even get these models out? I'm not doing anything with them, am I? Anyway, but yeah, Halo, everybody knows Halo. So. Using backwards, basically all the issues with orders boil down to it gives cover for two different sets of rules of Pennybook. You can see what engaged in also break rules with silent. I would argue Halo is well, it's a better OST, but sure. It's more of an issue for my friend and my partner since they have a hard time memorising rules. How do you get it into wargaming? Man, that is a tough one about the orders. I think orders are mandatory, and if you were to change the way, or if you were to remove orders, the game wouldn't work, so you'd have to change everything else about it, so that's quite hard to kind of discuss. Yes, Eric has it there. It is how, yeah, that's what makes Kill Team Kill Team. It allows everything to work together and like line of sight, the way you attack, work alongside the order system and line of sight, and if you remove that, you have to change like the whole of the game. Interesting though, interesting. I totally understand. Like, I remember the first time I tried to figure out, like, should I be engaged or concealed, and And how does that interact with terrain? It's like, oh, well, if you're within an inch of terrain and you're engaged, you can still be shot if they have visibility. But if you're concealed, they can't. It's like, why? What does that mean? But no, I get it. It's pretty mandatory. How did I get into wargaming? Just born that way. Pretty much. Nepotism. I hope to see more 4-man and 6-man teams. I'd even take more Marines, but it would be cool to see something like a 4-man Ogren team. I would like, yeah, I agree. I would like, I agree, some more elite teams that aren't Marines would be awesome, but good luck, because in GW's mind, I believe that Marines are Marines, right? There's nothing better than them. So if you make anything else 6-man, you're kind of saying that these are in parity with Space Marines from a power level perspective. So a little bit difficult to do, I think. Personally, I would just like some more APL 3 teams. Very hot take. Third Ed should go to the custom dice used in Warhammer Quest. Don't know what custom dice are in Warhammer Quest, so I can't really talk about that. However, I do like using dice as order tokens. So, Warcry is a more approachable skirmish game, which is probably better to. Yes, if you're trying to introduce someone to wargaming, Warcry is the better system, 100%. Kill Team, as mentioned, is a little bit too wordy, if you will. So, need to normalise flipping order tokens one way in turn 1 and then the opposite way turn 2 to avoid the dexterity test after each turning point. Disaster. I don't have it with me, otherwise I would show you how to fix that. You know what, that's worth a video, no, that's worth a short. I'll do a short showing you how to fix that problem. Tabletop. Absolutely, that it would be a... Yes, okay, alright, well at least you understand that the system is so tied into the rest of the game. Warcry is what got me into the hobby. There you go. You see? Boom. 20-man grot team. According to Warhammer community, yes, that is legal. Correction, orcs are better. Give us elite orc mega... I love an orc mega nob team. Those models need to be redone. Some of the worst models in the orc range, to be honest with you. Nothing better than Marine, especially if painted as raptors. Yes, that's true. Indeed. Perhaps those raptors, those Marines could also be orcs painted as raptors. Everything could be painted as raptors. You know, I will say you could do every team painted as Marines. If you just like Marines, you could do all the teams as Marines. It's fine. No one's going to have an issue. Very nice take on the way GW looks at 6-mans. Thank you. I've said it and already forgotten it, but I'll just assume it was good. IMO Melee needs a rework fit. Ooh. Oh, okay, yeah. I remember this was a big kind of question mark when the edition launched. You know, how come a crappy little guardsman can do any damage to a custode, right? That's weird. But yeah, if you charge and fight, you'll hit them for 3 damage or whatever. It's like, that's weird. It's just a function of the design, you know. Ooh, I have something to add to that, but I can't say it because it hasn't been made public yet. It's not about Kill Team, don't worry, it's something else GW sent me. But it's actually very interesting system that I would love to see brought over to Kill Team perhaps. But at the same time, it sucks if you can't do anything to an enemy, because you could argue, well, why can I stab a custode? I shouldn't be able to do that. Okay, well, you also shouldn't be able to use a lasgun to hurt them either. So, I'm going to have a coughing fit because I've been talking too much, I'm sorry. I don't talk normally in my day-to-day life. So every time I do a stream or a video, my stamina needs some work, let's just say. I would like them to simplify faction rules. Only a few spare. You're going to have to elaborate a smidge on that, Jimmy. I think they have a pretty good balance at the moment. Although, in concession to that, I would actually, I could see that. Maybe what you want is to have, similar to what they've done to 40k, but I wasn't thinking about 40k when I had this thought. Perhaps you want to have like 3 or 4 generic strats that everybody can use. You know, shoot twice, fight twice, CP reroll. Something like that. Like those are the 3 core strats. And then, when you get into every faction, instead of having, you know, 4 strat ploys, 4 tac ploys, just have 2. Maybe. I'm not saying that's a good idea, I'm just saying, like, if that was the way they went to simplify and streamline, I wouldn't be against it. It's an interesting one. You mentioned no more orc teams, but let's dream about it. Mega Nobs, yes, agreed. Agreed. 100%. Will Elite Orc team would be sold out for years. It's GW, everything's sold out for years, apparently. Sirkan, my man right there, Sirkan, my man. Obviously, you just played at Darksphere yesterday. You were, I read it, you went Colts, didn't you? You came second with a draw round 1, if I recall. Is that right? I was, yeah. But well done, congrats. Oh, the chat jumped. Where have I gone? Oh no, it jumped real far. Okay, right. My entire Phobos roster is Raptors. Hell yeah, Raptors, sweet. Ken's mentioned his. Ken can't not mention his Orc dice. In fairness, we can't not mention his Orc dice as well. You still think Quins make a good Straw Boy team? Good shout. Good shout. I agree. Yep, just put those Storm Boys on 25mm bases, no one's going to have any issue with that. Because let's be honest, if you're playing Void Dancers, everyone has the same melee weapon anyway. You're all blades or you're all kisses, and you know, great. And then just give 2 of them, whatever, a big orc zap gun instead of a pistol, and those are the special pistols, very nice. So can the chat like the video, please? Yes, please, thank you. In the competitive scene, should casino dice be used? Yes, there you go. Yeah, I think so. And you know what? I don't care. I don't need the casino dice to roll exactly average between all of the numbers. You just need to have a dice that people trust to not be rigged, and then give it to people. Because then, when your opponent's on a hot streak for rolling, you could just be like, it's fine, I know the dice aren't weighted. Or not deliberately, but like, you know, in just the way they were molded. So yeah, I'm actually all for it. Yes. I wonder how long it'll take until production capacity gets back to normal after the diversion for the launch of Bigfoot. Years, apparently. No idea. A grot can kill a wounded custode. How the hell do you explain that in the lore? You don't. Noob here, learning made silly mistake today. Dreamer, if you got any more questions, throw them into chat. I seem to be about 20 minutes behind chat, but yeah. Auto gun over power armor. Bullets are good. Just throwing that out there. It's a function of the fact that it's game. Yes, obviously, Major Tom has said the ultimate answer. It's a game, and inevitably, if you literally can't hurt something, it feels like if you have no answers in the puzzle, that's a bad thing. There has to be an answer. So, if you keep punching and tagging in real life, it will eventually explode, right? Yes. Yes, and you can't prove otherwise. You know? My buddy printed a bendy 6-inch hex stick and an 8-inch bendy 8-inch hex stick for non-straight line moves or charges you need. No. Okay, you ready? You ready for me to be super pedantic? You're doing it wrong. You cannot bend when you move. You move in 1-inch increments, and if you're bending, you're not moving in 1-inch increments. Let's do something. You ready? We're gonna do an actual rules thing. Chat, I'm sorry, I'll be with you in a second. Let's get this guy here. No, let's use the leader, he's painted. Let's get this here. Ah, bull, I don't have any measurement sticks. Where did I put it? Okay, well, never mind. Can't do it because I don't have my measurement stuff. I was going to teach you all how to move, but I'm not now, so there you go. That was going to be fascinating, though. I'm not going to lie. I was going to blow some minds with that one, actually. So there you go. Anyway, your loss. I really just don't care about the super duper mega magical space rock armor that custodians wear in the lore. It was going. Yep, I agree. Ultimately, if I'm big on fuck narrative, who gives a shit? 40k narrative is dumb. It's all stupid. It's all a bunch of 10-year-olds sat around once they finished writing their big book of grudges, their big book of 12-year-old crying little girl diary stuff, and saying to each other, oh, your guy's got super armor, my guy's got super armor. Oh really? Well, my guy's got magical powers in his mind. My guy's got super magical powers in his mind. It's all dumb. You can't take it seriously. And then if you try to apply that dumb lore to a game, nah. You're looking at things in the wrong way, if I'm honest. But that's obviously my hot take. That's probably my hottest take, because people really don't like it that I think the lore's dumb. I read the books, like it's fun, you know, but like it is dumb. So yeah, I really just don't. Yeah, trying slap chop and tried using speed paints as my dry brush lol. Oh, interesting. Speed paints as the dry brush. Interesting take. Work on that breath control. How far back am I? Jesus. All right. Oh, it jumped again. I'm really far back. Okay, we're there. Do you have a Discord server? I do, yeah. My Discord server, all of my links, like Patreon, my LM Games affiliate, my Discord, whatever else I have, I don't really do social media, is all linked in the description below of all my videos. Do you keep FMPs or replace them entirely with flat damage reduction? Flat damage reduction. FMPs are just the bane of the world, if I'm honest. They shouldn't be in the games. Or at least not at 5-ups. 5-up is too much. 6-up, fine. It's like a token thing that can obviously spike like 2. But FMP shouldn't be in the game. Unless I'm the one with the FMP, then it's fine, yeah. Jack, you should be allowed to use whatever orc dice you like. Yeah, sure. Exactly, that direction would be neat. Colt and came second. Yes, sorry, there was a delay. I think there's a delay in me reading the chat, if I'm honest, Sirkin. Yes. Well done on that. Well done. I mean, Colt's so not well done, but yeah. You know, it's okay if you're a win at all cost player. That's fine. You can play Colts. It's all good. You will not turn me to the dark side. We need Gene Stealer Abominants in a kill team. Ooh. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you're going to get that, but yes. It was a great event. Top 8 players were there. Really, yes. I saw a lot of big names, and I was like, ooh, Shark Tank. I'm out. Good thing I didn't go. Well, I'd come last anywhere. So, Orcs and Veteran Guard starter set on order. Nice. It's a great starter set. After having just opened and reviewed the Crypt of Blood Warcry box, this does not compare to the 40k, the Kill Team starter set. In fact, my big fear is that the next edition of Kill Team, they will make the starter set more like this. This isn't enough. The Kill Team starter set's really good. Great value. Everything you need, apart from the rules. But Games Workshop's a model company, not a rules company. The Mechanicus soundtrack in the background slaps. It does indeed, yes. Sirkin, was a shame I couldn't go on SAT, especially as I would have taken Halfkin. Ooh, that would have been fun. There was recently a tournament in Hungary and Harkin came 3rd. It was only 10 players, but yeah, that was amusing. Do you expect more weird teams like Beastmen, Velgor kill teams? So rare lore teams, excited soaps or dark mechanics? Yeah, for sure. Why wouldn't they be? This is Kill Team is the perfect delivery system for those weird teams. Are we going to get more? Don't know. But we've already had quite a few, let's be honest. Like right here, Exaction Squad, Navy Breachers. That's it. That's literally all I can think of. But yes, we're getting weird teams. I'm down to clown. Oh, that wasn't meant to be a Void Dancer reference because they're not a weird team. But I am down to clown. I have to say your Exaction Squad looks super cool. Thank you so much, Camille. I have my Blood for the Blood God paint and my flicky brush here. So in theory I was going to do them, but I literally can't even keep up with chat. So clearly I'm just sat here talking to chat. My bad. It was a lot less busy last weekend. A small mounted beast team would be cool in a new edition of the game. Mounted? Don't know. We can obviously make fly work in the game, but mounted? What's it going to be? I mean, it has to be faster than a hound, so you'd be looking at 5 circle. It's too much. I don't know. Don't know. How to move, grab model, move it. Yep, you should do a rule. Yes, you're right, sorry. Yes, I'm not a hobby channel, I'm a rules channel. This should be a rules and hang stream. What would it be? Rules and rowdiness. Rules and... No, not that R word. Rules and... Not that R word. Rules and... Robust rule reading. There you go. The robust rule read stream. Next time, man, would be great to play against Space Wolves. And it's jumped. Dipping back out, have fun chat, goodbye. Sorry, I'm 20 minutes behind chat. It's not Warhammer, it is not. I agree. And it's okay that it's dumb. But when people try to take it seriously and make the game actively worse because of it, probably a mistake. Moving around corners, weird shapes can be measured with 25 more bases. Yes, that's correct. Yep, definitely. It wasn't 20 minutes ago, yeah. Not quite. But you're right, yes. So, did I ever do that video? I don't think I did that video. But yes, you can use a 25mm base to just plot down where you're going, and that's real close to how far you would actually move. The fact that all is done with path, totally agree. Maybe 6 up feeling play, but 5 up agreed, 5 up's insane. I hope they make Space Skaven. I'd love it, yeah. They'd probably claim that's the FRUD and say Space Skaven. They should 100% do that. All of the Skaven sculpts they've done for Underworlds recently have been beautiful. Like, I really like the Skaven sculpts they've done for those 3 warbands. I just love some of that brought over. Just a one-off, FRUD team, whatever, and it's just Space Skaven. The smaller starter set was great, especially to double up on command. Yep, agreed. Do you think maybe restrict teams to seasons to help with bloat? So tournaments only allow season 2. Ooh. No. 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 Not because okay, so. My brain's processing. Not because I'm against how many teams there are in the game, but because I'm against restricting people from using the teams that they connect with. For example, forget mechanics, just aesthetics, you know? I mean, why do I go around and make random teams be the aesthetic, the theme of the model I like? Because I'm connected to that aesthetic. I don't care about the mechanics at all. I would happily proxy whatever, you know, I'd stick some Drakari witches onto 32 more bases and say they're an in-session team. That doesn't break my immersion at all in regards to what model I'm saying acts this way. I'm just connected to the theme, and you shouldn't take that away from people who aren't as fast and loose with proxying as I am, is my hot take on that bad boy right there. I don't think there were any top teams at the tournament like Colts or Beastmen though. No, you're right, there weren't. I think there were like 3 compendium teams as well, so yeah, you're right. Grot Squig Riders. Oh, I finally caught up. Oh my gosh, hello. Hello, bottom of chat. Grot Squig Riders for mounted team. Yeah, I'll be into that. We could totally get some Grot Squig Riders in 40k, so yeah, bring them over. I did a lot of hobby during the chat. I was, oh, good. I'm glad. Your hero's death. Oh, you assembled the same thing I did. Well done. Rules and rambling. That makes so much more sense than what I said. Yes. Right. That's it. You're going to do more hobby. Okay, Cheeseman. Thank you. Rules and rambling. Yeah, I should probably do that, shouldn't I? Let's be honest. I'm not going to hobby. It does make this entire setup a little bit overkill if I'm just talking. But there you go. Exodite Raptor Riders. Oh yeah. I know that everybody wants Exodites. I don't care about that, really. Do I? I think it'd be cool, it'd be fun. I wouldn't be against it, but I don't think it's needed. We've just had new sculpts for the Saurus, for the Seraphon in Sigmar, and the Corsairs are beautiful sculpts. You could just put them together. I don't think we need a team for it. Although I would love a team, like that'd be cool. But it's, again, a very wish listy one that I don't think is going to happen. Who's your favourite kill team streamer? Me. Restricting teams would be bad. Yep, kill team legends. Please no. What is an easy way to remember how fighting in a hatchway works? I still find it confusing, lol. What do you find confusing about it? You just get to make a fight action, and when you're base to base with the hatch, your engagement range essentially becomes 2 inches instead of 1 inch. That's about it, really. Hatchway fight. Half-baked idea. What if newer seasons cycled out older teams but recycled some of the models? No. There you go. Oh, you're saying like so auxiliaries. So every team could have an auxiliary bolt-on of another team. Interesting. I mean, you know, like I suppose that would be a way to get more list building into it, and they've proven that with the Inquisition team, they're willing to do something like that. So it's not like an automatic no from GW. I guess that would be of interest. My only perhaps concern is how many teams are going to be on the go, how many boxes you'll have to buy to field a team. Although I said earlier, you know, and I'm having all of these thoughts right here and now and have not thought them through, but I mentioned like what GW should do for the next edition is make the compendium use units from the combat patrols for 40k, because then you're tying in new 40k players to also be new kill team players at the same time from the same box, which although loses them a single box of sales for a kill team box, will ultimately make them buy more kill team boxes, right? Like that's how that works. And all regular 40k players will also have that combat patrol. So you still get to have that link into 40k, but you also get it immediately and instantly to help both kill team and 40k from that single combat patrol box. I forgot why I was saying that, so I'm going to stop. Great, well done me. You know what? If you wanted to use generic models as like auxiliaries anyone of the super faction can take, that'd be interesting. I would love more list building. Like I'm a big fan, but yeah, I don't know. Tough one. I do like the simplicity of just you get what you get, right? The slot system is fun. I like the slot system. You kind of don't have to think, you just take what you take. Finished in Intercessors for Justy and Hobbygang. Hell yeah, nicely done. Nicely done. Josh Dickey, I like that idea. I'll be in Tokyo next week. Any chance I can pick up the Justian team? I don't think it's out yet. I think the only thing we've heard is that maybe September. That's all we know. But we don't, there's no confirmation from GW. We've just seen it on other like third-party seller sites saying September. Thoughts on Necromunda? I don't have any. I have not actually played the game. I've played one game, and it was a starter game against somebody else that also didn't know the game. Of this new, it's like 2016, isn't it? Edition of Necromunda. So I can't really say anything. However, I want to be able to, so I intend to play a few games of it, just so that I can kind of have an opinion on that, really. Yeah. Like, I can tell you what I think Necromunda is supposed to be, but I might be wrong. Yeah. I have no personal expertise on it. Long story short, the rules are a little bit outdated. It's a slow game, and it's not a balanced game. Like it even said in the Ash Wastes book, these rules are designed to let you play what you want to play, but they're not balanced. So don't, you know, if you try to break the game, you can, like very clearly and deliberately and openly. And I've got to be honest, I really don't like that, because you get multiple types of narrative players. Some who just like, oh, my guy forgot how to reload guns because he took a head injury, and I think that's hilarious, so he only gets one clip every game, right? Like, oh, to me that's like, oh yeah, brilliant narrative, love it. But then you get the other guy who's like, oh, well, you know, I've deliberately picked all of the best narrative upgrades to make my team as strong as possible. And that's my narrative. And like, that is legit his narrative, that's fine. But it's like, ugh, yeah, okay. That you then have, on top of just the balance within the game and the mechanics and the rules itself, narrative introduces and campaign introduce the ability to screw yourself really, really hard. So that sounds bad. Just the engagement range part of it. The models still need to fall back from the hatchway fight even if they aren't within 2 inches? No. Oh, if they're within 1 inch, yes, because then they're within engagement range. But your engagement range doesn't actually extend to 2 inches. You are just able to perform the fight action at an enemy model within 2 inches of the hatch, but they are not in your engagement range in regards to any other rules. We play Killteam with the Death Dread and Tower Commander suit. Sweet. Nice. I'm actually halfway through a script of how to do a boss battle. But in fairness, I've been halfway through that since I got the new Farsight model. I was just hyped to put it down on the board. And I've never done that. So, a few events running current season only could be interesting. Yes, I agree. Like, it's an interesting meta. Like, an interesting meta game to do seasonal kill team. Stu, love your channel. Should get some cardboard cutouts in your gaming room. You appear lonely in there. All right, yeah, just put another guy over here. Of me? Yeah, I'll do that. That's top-notch comedy. It will have people questioning my sanity. I like it. I have 2 intercessor groups, and I'm thinking on a third. Right? I don't even play intercession, and I'm like, I should do some Blood Angels. I should do some Emperor's Children. No, chill out, Andy. If you had to choose, would you make the initial box terrain open or something open? Yeah. Why? Because it just integrates with other things better. Into the Dark's lovely, but it's a specific set of terrain with no flex in it, and I think that's pretty bad for new players. You know, like, hey, if you're playing open, you can just have a few cups lying around, and that is your terrain, and the game will work. You know. Third Ed, the speculation is September next year or November. Like, ideally, you want a game with minimal bloat and regular releases, which doesn't make your purchase obsolete in a year or two, but obviously those, yes, directly conflicting desires there. Yeah, it's frustrating, because there's a whole bunch of teams that I want, but I also don't want any more teams because it's too much to keep track of. So, what do I do? Is there a chance of Warhammer Quest game in the Necromunda setting? Ooh. That's an interesting idea. It's an interesting idea. Obviously, they did the Blackstone Fortress, which was very much going away from the Necromunda setting. That would be cool. That would be cool. I'm surprised they haven't, to be honest. I feel like there is a contingent of players out there that like the aesthetic of Necromunda, but don't like the rules. And they should probably find that audience and do something with it, you know? Yes. I like your channel, I like your sense of humour, nice elbow cam. Thank you, thank you. That's just for the hashtag elbow fans, right? I loved Necromunda when I was a kid, but very much like D&D. Got to keep track where your team is. Impossible to play with. Oh, nah. It's a lovely idea that every time your guy upgrades his equipment, you take the same model, snap his weapon off and give him a new one, but in reality, hard pass. Try to make the Space Marine go-kart look less dirt. So, right, I have not seen one of them in person, but I'm one of the few people that when I saw it just thought it looked fine and was like, yeah, I'd run that. So I should buy one. I have the 3 Interceptor, the bike dudes from Indomitus. I should get an Invader ATV. That's interesting, so you can hatchway fight someone and they could remain in that same position and shoot you in the face because they are outside the 1 inch but inside the 2 inch. Good to know. Yes, thank you, no problem. When will get an Ash Waste Nomads kill team? Ooh, never. Because Games Workshop is absolutely dead set on never mixing the streams. Yeah, they don't want these things to cross, which is a real shame and makes no sense. Clearly, they should do a gang that works in both Necromunda and Kill Team and 40k. But they don't do that. They have started to do it, obviously, with Underworld's Warcry and Sigmar. That's great. However, and I will note this, the last few years, so since 2nd edition Sigmar really, the Sigmar team has been a little bit on fire. Like, the Sigmar team is doing some good stuff over there. They seem to have better, kind of more inclusive design ideas among their whole stable of games, allowing things to work in multiple things. 40k ain't doing that. And that's a real shame, and they clearly should. Does every team really have to be completely different from all the other teams? I think you could do a lot keeping the same set of rules and just giving different sets of specialists. You've lost me. Isn't that kind of what they're doing already? Not quite sure what you mean. I'd like to see Kill Team and Warcry have longer than well, yeah, but then they can't sell you as much. It's a lovely idea, but then they can't sell you stuff. So, would you like to see more narrative-only teams? Like, no, because I don't really care about narrative-only teams. Just about to paint some Scions and Glass are doing a hobby stream. Okay, let's be clear, guys. The term hobby stream is obviously a little bit much. I have cameras set up and I have some models in front of me. I have not touched my paint or brushes. But as mentioned, I'm doing a rules ramble stream. Don't forget to like the video. I don't know why, but that's the thing, so please do that. Just about to paint some... so one team would have a plasma medic and comms, another would have a butcher, corpsman and grenadier. Oh, okay, sure. So like the same ability, the same number of models, you're just changing the 4 specialists they can take. That should just be one team then. Like that's how the slot system, that you're talking about a slot system. That's how the kill team currently works, you know? Yeah, but yes, like I'd be all down for that. I'd be up for you being able to almost completely change the way all the teams play by putting in different specialists. However, I would suspect that the rules guys are limited about doing that based on the models that they are given. They obviously can't give you options out of the box. So, G-Seal Occults. Yes, you're right. G-Seal Occults is one of the few teams that you can use in all 3. Yeah, you're right. Right now, they invent completely new specialists and completely new team-specific rules. Some very elaborate. That's bloat. I need to think about that, because I feel you're wrong, but I don't want to just say, no, you're wrong, without considering. But then you would make one look like Tau and the other look like Eldar. Gotcha, 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 gotcha. So yeah, okay, you want, yeah. I'm not against it, if I'm honest. I do think that, you know, part of the bloat of Kill Team is that teams are so different. But that's a good thing? Because let's say I didn't like Intercession. Phobos. Let's say I didn't like Phobos, right? Well, if you just have another team in the game that's Phobos but themed Eldar instead of Marines, you haven't fixed anything for me. I do think that you need the different ways to play the game, fundamentally, not just by swapping in range for melee specialists. and oh well, this guy has a comms, but this guy has an auspex. Like, that's not changing the game. So I think that the way teams are mechanically played on the board is very important, because you're trying to get as many people like able to play the game. And as I am learning in 40k, you really do need to like the mechanics you're playing. You know, like, you have to have a connection there. If you don't, like, whatever, let's say Genestealer Cults, I think they're a really cool team because I can role play that I'm like a union guy, eating the rich, right? 100% that's me. Awesome, sounds great. However, I hate weak models that get removed off the board easily. So actually, although I like the theme of Genestealer Cults, the mechanics of the game, of the team, the faction doesn't work for me. So that would be the only thing my immediate thought on that. Currently, there was a different discussion on different chats speculating Justinian being 7 models. What do you think on that? I don't know, maybe. The only thing I can think about that is, that I need to hydrate. As do all of you. Everybody get your hydration. Now that I've whet your appetite. So, when Phobos were weak, some people considered maybe you should make it a 7-man team. However, if you were to do that, you would then be saying the Phobos armor is worse than the intercession armor, whatever that's called. And so if you do that, you are kind of making a statement about the relative power levels of those models. And that is a bad thing, because Phobos armor isn't worse than intercession armor. So if you make it 7 models, you are saying it is actively weaker. They're not meant to be weaker, they're meant to just play differently. But they are, in theory, the same strength. Same goes for Strikeforce Justinian. If you were to make it 7 models, then you are actively saying these Marines and these types of Marines are not as strong as these Marines. And that's not how GW likes to view Marines, I believe. That's my take on it. I could be wrong. I could definitely easily be wrong. And to be clear, I'm not saying it's 6 models. It could easily be 7. You buy 7. There are 7 sculpts. It should be 7. But we know so little about the Justinian team. Like, we don't know how they're delivering the rules to us. We know that there are ploys on the back of the card, okay, but we need to know how to build the list. We need to know what tac ops they can take. There's so much we don't know about Strikeforce Justinian and how they're giving us those rules. So, unsure. Is there a rule in Kill Team that should be in 40k? In Kill Team that should be in 40k? Pass. Not sure. Yes, there is. The way flight works in Kill Team. That's a joke for the 40k players out there. Thoughts on Crypt of Blood pre-order being 110? Yeah, sure. So it's too expensive for what you get. I think GW missed the mark. I think that the package they've got is a really nice Warcry package, but it's far too expensive. Yeah. When I recorded my coverage of it, I was obviously just looking at the models and what you got in there. I didn't know the price at the time. It's too expensive, because you can look at it and directly next to it, the Kill Team starter. Quite genuinely, it should be about half the price of the Kill Team. It should be max £40, if I'm honest. So that, yeah, they messed up. I'm going to be honest, Dishaboo, it's been too long since I answered your question and I've forgotten what I said. Yeah. I like Wormblade and don't like vanilla Gene Stealer cards. Really? Why? You've lost me. Why is that? Is it because you get the special cult agents? What about your thoughts on Middle-earth SBG? People keep saying it's GW's best game, but nobody ever talks about it. Let me tell you. Okay, I've got a hot take for you. You ready? You ready for this one? Because I'm right there with you. Everybody I've ever heard talk about it says it's their best game. Survivor bias. I'm sure it's a good game. I'm sure it's better than 40k because 40k is a bit shit. That doesn't necessarily mean it's like an amazing game or their best game or whatever. The problem is that everybody that says it's their best game because they still play it are the ones that have liked it. If they didn't like, the reason nobody comes out and says it's not a good game is because those people don't care about it. So, hashtag survivor bias. Gene Stealer Infected Space Marine team would look pretty cool. Yes, agreed completely. My actual original idea for the Van Saar gang, because they're so futuristic, I had an idea of actually doing them as Gene Stealer cults. And so I'd mix them with the Gene Stealer Acolyte team and like make them look cool. But then I used the Gene Stealer Acolyte team to make my Felgor, so I don't have that anymore, and I don't want to buy it. So, whoops. What about instead of releasing overall teams, you just introduce individual fire teams per general faction and let people mix and match 2 fire teams per kill team roster? Doesn't really fit in with the current kill team sales pitch, like sales model, does it? They want kill team branded boxes. If you just go out and buy a bunch of 40k stuff, that doesn't get Kill Team a 3rd edition, you know? So far, there were very little power creep. I would say they will try to keep it that way. I think, obviously, a few outliers at the moment, but I think that in general, the power's been relatively solid. However, as we all know, I think it is a little bit, maybe not power creep, but a little bit rock, paper, scissors, based on how many models you get, and where your breakpoints hit the enemy breakpoints. Like, that's all it is. It's not power creep, it's damage breakpoints, which is a slightly more difficult concept. Have you ever played or considered playing Blood Bowl? I played the Blood Bowl computer game, so I know the basics of the game, yeah. But I haven't actually played the game, like the tabletop game. The funny thing about the Warcry starter is it is the same price and looks similar to the Underworlds box as, yes. Well, I think I said it in my video of it. To me, whether it's a Warcry or an Underworlds box is almost irrelevant because it looks identical. And they sent it to me at the same time as sending me like an Underworlds warband. I was like, is this an Underworlds thing? What's going on? So yeah, a little bit weird. And obviously the fact that it's two Underworlds warbands in the Warcry box. Volps Nix Hayglass, you think it's possible to make an intercession kit using Horus Heresy Mark 6 Marines? Thanks for that. Yeah. There you go. Because somebody's just done it. I saw it on Reddit and either Facebook or my Discord. Somebody had just done that, yeah. I don't know what additional bits they needed to pick up, but yeah, they were using the base model of the Mark 6 Marines. Picking up MESP, sorry, right now is a big risk. I assume you're going to say something due to the rights for the board games having been picked up by somebody else. I'm just going to assume that the rights for the board game are entirely different to the rights for the war game. Don't know. Should they release more character pack for other teams like you know what, yeah. They should. They should give us a Commander's version where we can swap in the leader. The leader gets another option. It can just be a generic 40k character, but you can put that into, you know, every faction gets it. It's one book. It could be the annual, right? Every faction gets you know, some caveat. For your team, you can, instead of taking the defined leader model in your team, you can take this model instead. and then just give it another model for every single team. I'd be well up for that. That'd be awesome. I don't want to try MESP just because my friend is a huge Lord of the Rings fan. Do it. It's probably a fine game. Yeah. As we say, nobody's ever said a bad word about it. So, yeah. That's how I feel about 40k only players. I mention what I don't like about... Sorry. That's how I feel about 40k only players. I mention what I don't like about the game and they feel the need to justify it being the only game they play and time and money invested. In fairness, it costs a crap load of money, so I'm kind of on their side. Like, their mistake for picking 40k, but like, yeah, really, if you're really into something, you only have time for one game. Like, quite genuinely. Me currently trying to play Dead Zone, Infinity, Shatterpoint, which is just over there, like, nah, not gonna happen. Plus I've got Parabellum Conquest, like Last Argument of Kings, plus I want to play Necromunda, plus I do want to play 40k, I want to learn to like 40k somehow, and you know what, I think Age of Sigmar's not bad at all either. I don't have time, I don't want to play Underworlds. Well, quite questionable, I guess, maybe. But, you've got to pick your poison. So, to the people that can say, I only want to play 40k, I applaud them. I wish I could had that strength. Another question I have is about tournament round times. Ooh, interesting. It's almost like, Sirkin, you should play with a chess clock, and then if your opponent times out, you should say, hey, your clock's run out. Time to stop. What do you think about that, Sirkin? What about that random statement I just made? Do you connect with that at all? Sorry. There you go. So I'm gonna. You know what? Here's a change that I want for the next edition of Kill Team. I want the whole game to be balanced around 4 or max 5 intercession models. 6, lower it down, baby. We should not be having 50 models on a side, right? Like, I think it would be great if the biggest team was 12 models. You know, like just take it all down a few models, and quite genuinely, I do think that an hour 45 is a very long time for a skirmish game. When you consider that for 40k, with all those extra things going on, a tournament game's 2.5 hours, 3 max, and we're still an hour 45. Bit cringe, if I'm honest. Do you keep barricades for Kill Team 3rd edition? Do you think that, ooh, I don't see a reason to remove barricades. I like the idea of being able to affect the terrain on the board. I think that's a nice mechanic. Yeah, there you go. I think that if you're a super casual player, you can just ignore the barricade. Forget that step. Just don't use the barricades. That's fine. You're not affecting your game too much. But the top tier sweaty guys can get real anal about where they put their barricades, and that's fine. I think that's okay. Yeah. But I think that player-placed terrain, or a player-placed terrain piece, is a cool concept. Rights for the war game run out this year and are controlled by the Embracer Group. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm aware of Embracer Group owning AMG. So I had assumed that the war game and the board game would be different rights. But yeah, if that runs out, then don't buy Fantasy Battle, Lord of the Rings. It's sad GW didn't try harder with Combat Patrol. I need to think more about Combat Patrol. I feel that when I talked about it, I was very, very harsh and against it, but maybe I was wrong in that. Maybe I need to rethink my stance on it and think who it's actually for, instead of just slamming it and saying it's not the way I want it, and so I'm annoyed by it, you know? Yeah, I don't know. I have to think about that. Because I would love it if Combat Patrol was, like, great. And people have run Combat Patrol tournaments. So it's like, I mean, they're not balanced, but they've done them. I don't know why, but they have. If only they would stop when they ran out of time. It's an interesting thing to say there, Sirkin. Because you see, I'm currently writing notes for a script, a video. I haven't figured out what I'm going to call it yet, but one of the working titles is How to Cheat in Kill Team. And one of the things I would start the video by saying is like, caveat. If you ever have a problem, just call the judge. The judge will fix your problem, you know? I'm just going to say it now. I don't think calling the judge is in any way a negative, right? Like, it's a good thing. It allows you to completely remove yourself from the game and say, I'm just going to call the judge, it has nothing to do with me. And then the judge third party arbitrates it, and you're like, judge's thing, not me. And if I were to ever TO a tournament again, I would be super clear about that right from the start. Like, if you have any issues, like, not even issues, if you just want to know anything, if you just want a line of sight call, anything, just call me. I'll do it. Call me as much as you can. If you see me ever free and having a chat with somebody and not like actively doing something, just call me over. However, if there is ever a clear-cut rule, your opponent's clock being at 0 is like, as a judge, I don't even think about it. You've timed out, you're done, you know? Just saying, I would not let in a tournament, I would never let my opponent play through a chess clock timeout, but to each their own. And let us use all 4 Wormblade heroes, not just 2. Yeah, you know what? Sure, I think they should remove that restriction. Totally agree. It will still cost you 2 slots per hero, but if you want to take 4, take 4. I don't see an issue with that. Yeah. You agree on everything I said. It's less about the time, more about the team sizes. Yeah, as I said, it would be great if they just tuned everything down a little bit. Maybe 4 intercession is too small, but I wouldn't be against it. If they came back out and said, Space Marines are now 4-man teams, and Vet Guard is 10-man, I'd be like, oh, sweet. As long as they can balance it, right? And you know what? If that means they need to increase the dice pool sizes, I'm fine with that. Warcry is about 45 to an hour. Yes. The last edition of Kill Team was an hour, or if you were playing Elites, an hour 15, or if you were playing Commanders at 200 points, an hour and a half. That was good stuff. Because it meant if you were playing fast, hour game, no problem. Should going on guard be implemented? Ooh. Sorry, let me actually finish answering the question. Asking, should going on guard be implemented on open boards? You know what? Maybe that's what the 3rd season is. Because we don't know. Are they just going to go back to open boards? Don't know. Are they going to give us a new kill zone? Where it's just open but on guard? I don't know. I'm not against it. I'm not against it. I think it'd be cool. Yeah. Yeah. Me and my friend play Kill Team weird. We still play normally, but after that 4th turning point, we still continue till one of us is tabled. Oh. Interesting. So for me... Oh, did I run out of music? Sorry, guys. So for me, I can't wait until the game ends, because then I can stop playing the game. So if somebody were to ever say to me, like, I'm getting tired, sorry. If somebody were to ever say to me, after the 4th turning point and we've checked our scores, Andy, do you want to keep playing? I'd be like, what? No. There you go. That would be my exact reaction. I literally wouldn't comprehend. I'd be like, no. What? Yeah. Do you think Kill Team 2021 will still be played? No, it definitely won't. I don't know why. No. People play games ultimately to connect with other people and to be part of a community. They wouldn't be destroying the core concept of Kill Team like they did with Warhammer Fantasy Battles or Blood Bowl, or at the time Necromunda, but they brought it back. They would be advancing the rule set, and therefore people would continue to play like the latest version because because that's where the community is, and ultimately people are creatures of, social structures. We do these things to connect with others, not to roll dice. That's just the vehicle with which we connect, because we're autistic and apparently we can't do anything else to connect with others. Smart people we are. But nobody's going to play this version of Kill Team once they release the next one. Like, who's playing the last edition of Warcry? Nobody. That's my harsh take. Hello, Mr. Glass. Hope you're doing well, and I always appreciate the Mechanica soundtrack on your vids recently. You know what? You have my handy-dandy Stream Deck to thank for that, as I could just push the button to load it up. I do think having some background noise definitely makes makes it all work a little bit. Sirkin with the £5. Thank you so much, man. Very genuinely. Great chat. Thank you for creating content for all of us and this game. Hope to catch up soon. Yes, completely agree. There are so many guys from the London scene that I want to have on the channel, but because I'm not there anymore, it feels such a shame that there are so many good players. Obviously, I'd love to have you on, like maybe a Vantage Point episode. I'd love to chat with Bart. Lots of them. Obviously, I've had Jason and Isaac on before as well. Genuinely, I think there are lots of great personalities, characters, and players all there. Like, part of me wants to just have a big old, I'll go back to London for a week and get everybody on like one episode a day or something, but that's something for me to figure out, and I have like real life to deal with. But yeah, it'd be great to get back to London, chat to everyone. The gaming mat is from, I think I picked it up from Firestorm Games, but it's actually a War Cradle mat, which is Wayland Games. It's a nice enough mat, but obviously it's very fixed. There is a river here. Hold on, let me do the double play. This here is like a river, and this here is a road, So if you're a little bit anal about putting down terrain, you can't it would be a bit weird to put a piece of your terrain over that road or over this river. So I don't know, just something to keep in mind, that it's not the most versatile map if you're going to be weird about where you place terrain. There you go. But it was the only one I had available at the time, and I really wanted to get it so that I could start playing 40k. I think we call that Mania. Let's just say that. Anyway, might look to play 500 pointless. Yeah, that's probably what you should do. But then that's not a defined system, and GW gave us the defined combat patrol system as the way to start. So it's a bit of a shame, that's all. We pay minis, hello. As an X-Wing judge doing people's arcs. Yeah, okay, that's fair. I feel like so the last time I did a tournament, it's just nothing to do as a TO. Everybody knows all the rules, and I feel like that's great if it's a technical rules question of how does this work, but people need to learn to ask the judge for more things, I think. Ooh. I feel like the game plays better the faster the players play it. I like the dynamic. Yes, I agree. I would once again say go on the old YouTube, type in Glass Half Dead Blitz Battle Report. That's how a game should be played. Except ignore me constantly flipping the camera. That was a mistake. I shouldn't do that. I should just have it set up like this. That was fun. Playing the game as fast as you can is actually quite fun. I'm going to be honest with you. So, yeah. So with the Crypt of Blood rules out, could I proxy the models. I've ready to try and learn Warcry. I really like. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. So the Crypt of Blood isn't a new rule set. That's just a beginner's set. So the core rules are free on Warcom if you just want to play Warcry. So yeah, just go play that out and just proxy any models you've got, I think. Smallest 40k, very nice, very nice. Cheeseman, lately beer missing height to boards. Is it me? Or am I reading? Okay. Lately, beer missing height to boards might be easier to play, but thematically looks cool. Okay. OG Necromunda could push models off high platforms spicy. Yes, I agree. Lately been missing height. Okay, right. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I think that's it's a good look at how competitive Kill Team is. I firmly believe that Kill Team should not be more than ground floor and 1 level, because that's how the rules want you to play the game. As soon as you go above that, you are seriously hurting certain teams and advantaging other teams. And like, not in a way that that team needs a buff or a nerf, you know? So it does kind of feel like the rules don't want height. Hence, we just played an entire year of Into the Dark where there was no climbing or dropping, right? So I think that if the Kill Team guys were to sit down and say, we want to make 2 levels, 3 levels, whatever, viable in our game, how do we do that? I think that naturally you would probably bring back a more dynamic, faster game. But how you do that, I don't really know. Ask Henry Cavill for a game of Kill Team. Henry Cavill is an actor that you can hire for a certain amount of money, as you can hire any actor. I don't have those kind of funds. As fun as it is to do that, he deserves to be paid, and I can't pay him his asking fee. I think it's something like 100 grand a day or something like that, right? Like that's the standard A-list actor fee, and I can't do that. And I know you think, but he likes Warhammer. He wants to play. Yeah, but not when he can be paid. And that is why, no, okay. I was gonna have a rant about another content creator that did a video challenging Henry Cavill to a match for charity. Pay him. It's his work. Do not try and embarrass him. Very cringe. I was very upset about that video and the implications of it. My friends and I still play Last Edition Kill Team because you actually get lost option. Yes, so I agree that there is a fundamental shift from Last Edition Kill Team to this edition Kill Team. In many ways. So I do accept that the last edition of Kill Team is something people would want to play. However, I'm going to throw this your way. Perhaps consider, if you're already freeballing it, right, maybe consider the version of small-scale skirmish that came before that, Shadow War Armageddon. That might be something more interesting for you. I don't know, I never played it, but I heard generally good things about it. Isaac, yeah, quite the character. Yes, funny chap, yeah. Games Workshop doesn't watch what we do. 500-point games aren't meant to be considered just fun. We still use patrol missions. Yeah, sure. I'm just saying they made an entire format and it's not very good. So it's a bit weird that we should have to modify that level, you know? Agreed on what few levels on the map? Play Necromunda. Yes, sure. I mean, Necromunda and 40k are trying to simulate very different things, but yes, There are different games. If you just love height, Necromunda's the one over killteam, sure. London's pretty small. Just walk to his house. Sure. I'm not in London anymore though, but yes, sure. England is small, so I'll just walk to London and then find him. All right, Henry. All right, mate. Would I play bolt action? No, I wouldn't. No, sorry. If somebody was like, Andy, I love bolt action. You're here. Let's play a game. I'd play it. I will play pretty much any game if you know the rules and I don't have to learn them, and I just you tell me what to roll and what to do. I'll play that game. Sure, that's fun. That's how you should learn a game, right? However, I don't really have an interest in World War I or II as a theme, or like, you know, outside of Saving Private Ryan and Band of Brothers. I'm good. That's everything I need. I'm done. You know. So, bolt action not really my vibe. I'm sure the mechanics are good, but yeah. Oh man, using charity. Yeah, I did not like that at all. Because again, if the guy that said that, we shan't name names, wanted to have Henry on his channel, that guy probably makes enough to just actually hire Henry for the day. So, yeah. Cheers for answering the question. Keep up the good. Thank you, Jimmy. Will do. It's a pipe dream, but kill team in a urban, highly vertical environment just seems on theme. But you're right. It punches too many teams at this point. Yeah, I love that. The problem is, Games Workshop at the moment doesn't do that type of terrain. Even so I've hidden it. I deliberately hid it. It was all on the desk, but I hid it because it looks too messy. All of that Sector Imperialis terrain. It doesn't really give the whole urban environment in the way that perhaps we want. It's good, but to make it work, I think you need a really, really dense board. To the point that, let's take the Sector Imperialis terrain. I don't think there should be any space on the ground floor between any of the pieces of terrain. I'm not saying there shouldn't be a ground floor, but there shouldn't be any clear movement, right? So like you'd have the building there, and then instead of having like a street, you would just have a ruin there or a scramble or something. And really, you should be fighting on the second and third floor. I think if you somehow make it to the first, the ground floor, you've gone wrong. And then it's probably dense enough. I don't know. I'm vaguely considering doing, for no reason, because nobody will watch it, because I'm not a battle report channel, so doing a battle report doesn't get me views. But I'm vaguely considering doing like a very heavily narratively themed battle report. It wouldn't be players, it would just be me pointing my camera at models and moving them around, but interesting. That channel has made a few very cringe videos of late, seem to have disappeared from my feed. I haven't really kept up hugely. But the less said, the better. We don't want to out people, not, even though I'm a tiny channel, so I'm fully allowed to punch up. But yeah. He makes some good videos sometimes. Just woke up and realised this was happening. What did I miss? How can I summarise the last hour and 48 minutes and 55 seconds? Hold on. I actually have... I can do this. Not here. Wait. Here we go. Give me a mo. Gotta find it. No. Okay. You know what? Sometimes... Oh, okay. Alright, no, I've got it. To summarise the last 2 hours, I would say my advice is do not kill the part of you that is cringe. Kill the part of you that cringes. That's my hot take. How do you feel about that? Right. How's the Death Guard 40k army going? Love the scheme you picked. Looking forward to... Oh yeah, well that's a whole other... Yeah. Agreed entirely. Open spaces like roads or alleys need to be easily avoided and should be... Yep. Love Barreps, I'd watch that. Yep. There's no rules of falling from a roof or throwing enemy due to acid pooling. Yes, there should be. There probably should be. In fact, I would even go so far as to say that some sort of falling test completely fits the current rules of Kill Team. Yeah, I think that'd be fine. There you go. Like, it wouldn't ruin things. It didn't really... It wasn't good in the last edition of Kill Team because everybody had one wound. And if you fell, you know, you took a mortal wound. It was incredibly devastating. Now we have wound pools. You could just take a wound. All 3. And it's like, oh, I've taken damage, but I'm fine. And I'm not losing the model. So I'm actually surprised there aren't full tests. Good advice. Yes, thank you. I agree. Right. Oh, sorry, Death God. Oh my God. So it's a bit much for me. Talking for 2 hours. So, sorry, who asked? Sorry, Spartan. You, obviously, patron, have seen my Patreon videos, so you are aware of my current struggles with 40k. I really want to like it, but I think if I'm to be charitable to 40k, currently, I am not creating lists that I enjoy playing, and so that's an issue that is standing in my way. So the next time I play 40k, I'm probably going to play a really highly maneuverable army, like you know, all Eldar jet bikes, like that kind of thing, and see how that feels. I think that although I don't like weak models that can be taken off the board easily, I think that I don't like dumb, basic, slow models because they can't react. And so really, at that point, at least from the experience I've had so far, I put them down in their deployment zone and they just walk forwards and I roll dice. And if I roll dice good, then I do good. And if I roll dice bad, I do bad. And that's it. And that's not actually very engaging. Even to just do when you're not paying attention and like you're just having a chat with friends, it's like, I still want to feel like I've done something. I don't want to just roll dice, you know? And currently with the armies that I've chosen, because I've gone so hard into durability, because I don't like taking models off the board, I feel like I'm not enjoying the game for that reason. And so we shall see. So I'm being very cautious about my dislike for 40k at the moment, because it might be very temporary until I play the game again, possibly even next weekend. So right now, I'm trying to be pretty reserved, and I'm not making a video where I just shit all over 40k, because in a week's time I might be like, oh yeah, 40k is amazing. The Death Guard are the best. I don't know, so yeah, I'm just being chill. But right now I don't like 40k, and therefore I don't like my Death Guard, I don't like anything. So we shall see. How far can you go before stepping on Necromunda's toes? Very far, because the theme is so different. I think they could have the same rule set, but with just different levels of dice. I don't know, I'm blanking on the word. They should update Necromunda's rules, that's all I'm saying. There you go. Modernise them a smidge, you know, whatever. But the theme would still be so different, and the way you could express that on the board would be so different, that they would still be very different games. Yeah. And then you could even have like a crossover of the games, because it's the same core rule set, but for example, the Necromunda gangs should be just so much lower number of dice that you would say, oh, if you want to play this team in Kill Team, from a narrative perspective, double the number of models you take, something like that. Space Marine fall on a guardsman, yes. If you fall on an enemy, they obviously take 75 mortal wounds. So next year's summer new edition, so my guess is September, November. Yeah. I can't stand I go, you go, I get bored of tears. So far, Goblin Twink, that is also what I am thinking. But I'm trying really, really hard to not defeat myself before. Like, I don't want to cheat myself out of liking 40k by thinking I want something when that isn't actually what I want. So I'm trying really hard to not be negative. No, that's not true. No, that's never me. I'm trying really hard to not let my presumptions get the better of me. I go, you go is the corner point of skirmish games. Okay. So just to clarify, I go, you go is what people call 40k style. I move everything and then you move everything. Sorry, I do everything and then you do everything. That's I go, you go. Alternating activations, which yes is I go, you go. I know it's very confusing. Is the skirmish thing. So, yeah. But yes, I go, you go clearly just means alternating activations. Yeah. You can't force yourself to like something. Good approach on finding a way to find your own enjoyment. Rolling dice has limits. I don't know. I'd like to be able to. Yeah, Death God or a slow-moving army, I get you. Yeah. I hated 40k until I started making dumb lists and playing with funny people, make up our own rules for lols and try to outcompete each other in scoring less VPs. Yeah, that's not me. You know, to a degree, I suppose I wish it was. But no, if I'm just getting absolutely fucking smashed, I'm not having a particularly good time. I think there was a level of enjoyment in a strong competitive game. Of equal competitiveness, you know, like, if someone's just getting steamrolled, it's not really that fun. If I'm the one doing the steamrolling, I feel awkward. I'm like, oh, and I start apologising to my, I'm like, oh, sorry man, that was good roll, unlucky. I was like, it's dice. And then if I'm the one getting smashed, well, I'm getting salty AF. It's like, this is my time, this is my day, you know? I could have done other things. So to just get fucking wrecked isn't very fun, if I'm honest. So yeah. Like, I don't have to play 40k. I could play Kill Team. I could play computer games. I could write a book. I could sleep. There you go. All right. So yeah, I value my time. Know your worth. Hashtag know your worth. I like games. Omni. All right. Have you considered self-publishing your own skirmish game? No. I feel like you'll be able to. No. Somebody asked this recently. It might have been you. But yeah. No. Don't care. Could I design something tailor-made for me? Yes. Could I balance it? Sure. Why not? However, I don't really see the point, if I'm honest. The truth is, nobody, you know, I'm in this Dead Zone. I think Dead Zone is a really cool, fun game. If I want to play a game that has nothing to do with analytics or anything, I'll probably just play Dead Zone, right? And I don't even care about the not particularly great models that Mantic makes. Our proxy 40k models. Awesome. But I can't play Dead Zone with anyone because nobody plays it. And this is published by, like, you know, a games company. And it's like a commercial product and everything. If I were to publish a game system, nobody would play it. What's the point? You know? I'd be, yeah, I don't know. That's not how I connect with things. My general stance on things is if I can't make it, if I can't interact with other people doing it, or if I can't make money off of it, I probably won't do it. Yeah. I'm at that point in my life where things in my life need to have a specific purpose. Yeah. The key is to remember that the minis are just playing pieces and HP markers. Taking them off the board is just the mechanism through which the game state changes. That is true, but it still doesn't feel good. Doesn't like taking models off the board, also can't wait for the game to be over. Yeah, because I just want to win, obviously. No, I just want my opponent to concede turn 1. Before we even roll the initiative, you just say, I concede. That's how I want to win every game. What changes do you think? Oh, that's what the entire stream has been about. A little bit hard to summarise. Coming back later to see the models haven't seen it. They have not, that is correct. This is not a hobby stream. This was a poorly titled hobby stream. It should have been a rules ramble. I agree. Next time, I will set that up in a better way. I won't have models. I will have rules books here, okay? And I'll have my tablet with KT Dash open, you know, hooked up to the stream instead of all these multiple angles, and we will just talk about rules, okay? That's how we're doing it. Do you think there should be some changes in terms of bookkeeping tokens for 3rd edition? Like having your order special tokens like marker lights, wounds, etc. all around the board gets crazy. Gosh, okay. No. There you go. I'm okay with tokens on board. I know that perhaps maybe for 40 Games Workshop players, they're not used to like a board filled with tokens, but actually, you know, again, cut my teeth on X-Wing, and then spend a lot of time looking at Fantasy Flight games, which use tokens everywhere, all over the place. So I'm just cool with it. It's a nice, easy way to keep track of board state. Yeah, I'm fine with it. Have you heard of Demonship? And if so, do you think there could be a niche for solo play micro miniatures games? I have not heard of Demonship. No. I would say, you know, perhaps one of the things I would be amenable to is creating solo rules for a game. That's interesting. That is of interest. Have you considered Imperial Chaos Knights? So, yes, I would happily play them. I have not played them yet, so I cannot say if I would like them or not. The concept totally works for me, right? I just have 5 models, I roll a bunch of dice, cool. However, now, I mean, it's probably stronger, and as long as the guy playing me isn't teching into killing the skew list that knights are, then like, maybe it would be good, maybe it'd be fine, maybe it'd be fun. But I feel like they're a bit of a DPS check, and they are still exactly what I said earlier of just, I deploy them and then they move forwards. And there's no tactics. I would probably have more fun with knights, to clarify, because they are just significantly stronger than anything else I'm playing. And so I'd hang around on the board for longer. But I don't think it fixes my core problem. Unless I'm lying to myself and my core problem is that I don't win, and I would have more fun smashing face. In which case, I should play Knights, I should play Eldar Wraith, like I should do all of that. And see if I have fun just wrecking somebody. Yes. So I can't truly answer it. However, perhaps I'm lying to myself, but if I'm correct in my belief, then my issue is just moving forwards, rolling dice isn't inherently particularly fun for me. So would you prefer a competitive game where everyone is trying their best and also bringing good sportsmanship, or a narrative game where your rules are relaxed and it's just for fun? Oh no, I don't know. Something in the middle, please. However, if I had to pick one or the other, it would be competitive, 100%. I don't really connect with narrative games at the moment. That's not entirely true, but like if I had to pick one or the other, it would be competitive. Didn't say our games have one of us getting wrecked by the other. You make no sense, man. You say you always want to play the worst team and score last place, but you want to be outscoring too. Yes. I don't understand what's complicated about having multiple conflicting beliefs at the same time. We're all human, man. You know? Logical consistency is not mandatory for life. Is there a rule or a way to play that we don't have now that you would like to see in a 3rd edition, or do you feel we're perfect as is now? A rule or a way of play? I think it's a bit of a weird one that GW hasn't given us official boss battles or solo play rules. Like, those seem like easy wins for them that they could probably give out. Yeah. Clearly haven't played Hearthkin. They look like they love bookkeeping and tokens, haha. Yes, yeah, they're also not a good team, which is unfortunate. So. I feel so rude that I've been watching the stream for a while and not offered a double hello. To apologise, please accept my triple hello. I do feel more wholesome. It's good that you feel wholesome. Do consider also liking and subscribing. Nice, thank you. A good change for 3rd edition would be faster, yes, wherever the needs. Crazy, right? We've had a billion Imperial teams and Chaos teams, but NIDS still struggles. How do you feel at the end of a game where you run around and wreck face and don't take off models, but your opponent has won at the end because of objective stuff? I'm almost out of water. And if I can't hydrate, I can't stream. So, we're almost done with the stream, lads. It has been over 2 hours now. That is a tough question. I like to win, right? But it's not it's not the only thing I need. But yeah, winning feels better than losing. And I think that's obvious. It's not the only way I can feel good, but let's say everything else in the game goes exactly the same, but in one version I win, in one version I lose, I would prefer the one where I win. I'm competitive, but I'm not particularly competitive. But if I had the choice, I would rather win, yes. So I don't know if that really answers things. Yeah, I don't know. The problem is I haven't played enough games of 40k to really answer things properly, but at the same time, I haven't, like, it's a real slog to get through them, so I kind of don't want to keep playing anyway. You played your sister's Combat Patrol Saturday, didn't you? How did you find that? Combat Patrol is much faster than 40k, 2k, so inevitably better, because it's over quicker. And as a comedy girl, I am, that's true. Also, the feeling of winning a tournament with Hybrid got to be sweeter than managing it with Intercession. So that's a very fair point. I see these people winning with Colts, and I'm like, eh. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there's no skill in winning with Colts, right? But I don't care that Colts have won, because to me that says Colts have won. But if I'm going to see Hearthkin, I'm going to say, that player is a god. And they transcend the team. And that's cool. If you're not stroking your ego when winning, what's the point? And in my opinion, if you're playing a top tier team, your ego can't be stroked. The team is a shield. I'm worried about the inevitable Terminator team, things like the Ultimate Bring AP or Lose edition. I don't think we're getting Terminators. I could be wrong, but I don't see... Terminators, from what I can tell, have only ever been a wish list. There's been no rumours that we're getting Terminators. Unless you consider the recent Valrak Space Hulk rumour. Look, I don't know, guys, but to me it's crazy that they would release Space Hulk with Kill Team rules. They should re-release the Space Hulk rule set. Why would they make that for Kill Team? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't track with what GW's ever done in the past. Maybe I'm wrong. I just don't think Terminators are coming to Kill Team. Because you're right. Terminators don't belong in Kill Team. When do you think third could be released? September next year. Or November. Don't know. Solo play would be incredible. Sad hammering. Hell yeah. Casually competitive. Yes. I feel like there's a better term for it, but yes, casually competitive is what I want to accidentally win, essentially. I want to win without putting in the reps to be good enough to win. That's me. There you go. That's me. Yeah. But I'm realistic and I know that if I don't put in enough reps, I won't win. I just want to. It's called being a millennial and wanting unearned glory. Would you add something like Twist from Warcry to Kill Team to add variety to missions? No. It feels to me, no, I wouldn't. Hard pass. So 40k in the Leviathan deck, they have that. I don't play with them. I don't find them particularly interesting. I don't like them. Yeah. In a narrative game, yes, great. You know, I think in Necromunda, sure, it's a narrative game. In Kill Team, it's a competitive game. I don't want to play one game where if I dash, I take a mortal wound. But then another game, if I climb, I get a free action, right? Like that's not. It's like, well, this is a very different game, you know. It goes beyond. This is an interesting thing, and what the hell, right? But that's me. I don't think the twists are particularly engaging, and I never liked them when I played Warcry. My best was always when I picked the one where it said no rules. So. Also, say what you will, narrative is just more rules. There's no way around it. Narrative means more rules, and I play slow enough already, and I like fast games. So narrative is a slower game, even if it's just because there's more rules to think about. That's why I've never quite connected. Playing tomorrow will let you know. Excellent, good. Custards and Harlequins don't really fit either. That is true. No further comment. There should always be an edition of Space Hulk in the... I agree. No idea why they are taking so long between editions there. Don't know. Games Workshop, I'm going to throw it out there. Games Workshop needs to seriously step up its board game offering. You know? Board games and tabletop games are so completely different, like, demographics that you're targeting, that to not have, like just buy the license to the Pandemic rule set and make 40k Pandemic. Seriously. It would sell like hotcakes. And people love Pandemic. You could put the 40k IP in front of board gamers, the more casual crowd. Many of them would swap over, right? Like, yeah, Games Workshop needs to seriously think about its board game offering. Like, you know, super cheap, casual board games that people would include in their weekly rotation for board game offerings when they have their board game nights. They should be dirt cheap and just, yeah. Anyway, whatever, that's me. Gene Stealers are very different too. I suppose, but we have a Gene Stealers team, yeah. There should always be an addition of, yeah. Burn your Warcry Twister. Yeah, why not? Sure. Never use them. Haha, getting lucky is better. Remember your Hearthkin lore. Toil earns. No, I don't like toil. Sounds like bookkeeping is the bane of your enjoyment. I can empathise with that. Oh, from the narrative side. Yeah, I don't care about it. Yeah. Narrative with someone else doing the bookkeeping is a lot more fun. I think I'd be okay with narrative if I was really, really, really comfortable with the system, but the problem is, even now, I don't like playing one team for many games in Kill Team, so I prefer to just jump around and play different things. I find that way more interesting. Perhaps because I haven't built a team I'm like super connected to, like I might do for, let's say, Necromunda, but I don't know. I don't have time, so. Also, Andy, opinion on new board games coming out, Space Marine, they're the big bug from Black. Don't care. There you go. Don't care. I don't know what the mechanics are. It's good that it's in front of regular people, but the problem with all GWs have, even the push fit, it's not playable out of the box. You have to go buy some cutters. You have, you know. I don't think GW would ever do this because it's just not their thing. But you know what? Other companies do out of the box, ready to go, great looking PVC models. GW needs to do that and then make a board game out of it. Yeah. As fun as it is, assembling models is not a board game. If GW makes a board game that includes 40k minis, board game players don't get a look in before 40k players buy the stock. That is very true. I agree. That's an issue with GW. Yes, they could. So, I'm not really saying GW should make the board game. GW should allow another company to make it, and they should just do it well. There you go. If GW make, can you answer this question? I got asked just a few seconds ago. Why are you watching this man from two angels in a black room? Let's find out what two angels is, shall we? If you can't tell, everybody, I'm about to stop the stream. That's why I'm pulling out my phone to check this. All right, let's have a look. Two angels. Two angels. What we got? I assume it's a show. Two Angels TV show. Touched by an angel? No. In that case, I can't answer for you. Two angles. Oh. Alright. Alright. Why wouldn't you want to watch me from two angles? It's so that you can see. It's because I'm making a statement. It's an artistic statement. Everybody in the world is two-faced. That doesn't have to mean that the two faces are actually different. It's two parts of the same whole. Both sides of Andy in my content creator purgatory room. Yeah. Curious if relaunching the old world will be followed by a mod. I'd love a Mordheim relaunch, but considering I don't even play Necromunda, I think I just want it because I'm nostalgic. So maybe they could make the game good by modern design. I don't know, crazy, call me. I need to hang up. Okay, right. A bunch of Games Workshop board games are licensed to other companies, Tasman. Yeah, but make them good. Major Tom, you've misunderstood me. I mean make good ones. Sorry if that wasn't clear. I want them to be good, okay? I want them to be casual. For example, Wingspan. I use that as an example. Or like Last Train to Ride. All that stuff. I want them to be fun. There you go. Smashed. He just typoed out. Yeah, I know. I get that now. Yeah, I get that now. Yeah. The rouge angles of a satin man. You've been streaming too much. That's right. Okay. FFG made some fine Warhammer board and card games when they had the license. Yeah. I still have the almost entire collection of the card game Warhammer Conquest. Great. Oh, and I have Warhammer the Old World and the Shadow of the Horned Rat expansion. Never played. Just bought them. How else would you double hello? You don't want to play Talisman for 6 hours until somebody goes into the middle of yeah. 40k expansion for Zombicide. Yeah, perfect. I've never played Zombicide, but it seems like, you know, PVC models you can just put straight on the board, right? It's exactly what they need. Yes, I agree. GW wouldn't do it, but they could allow another company to do it. Because they have already licensed out board game variants to other companies. Warhammer Conquest is the best game of it. Oh, good. That's nice. Have you played with the Magic the Gathering 40? No, because I don't play Magic the Gathering. The Zombicide game engine is begging to have 40. Totally agree. Totally agree. Right, guys, it's been 2 hours, 20 minutes. That's far too long. So, Hey guys, did you like my hobby stream? Really progressed those Van Sar. I'm glad some people got some hobby done. Yeah. Let's go to here. I just want to show you my dog. That's all. Here we go. Can we see him? We'll block it. I just did his fur earlier, just before I went on stream. There you go. Love it. What a cute little guy. Alright guys, next time I'm on it's going to be a rules ramble and I'm going to have all the rules next to me. Thank you so much for coming, hanging out, all that good stuff. It's been fun. Thank you so much to those who donated. You make it all worthwhile because we live in a capitalist society. And if you made it to the end of the video, I'd like to give you a big triple hello. Nailed it. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a good day. Stay strong. I've got videos coming out, probably. Maybe. I don't know. Have I done a video? I'm going to do some videos tomorrow, I guess. All right. Have a good one, everybody. Stay pimp. Hydrate. Goodbye.